And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control. We will stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? Hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio. If you have a ham radio and you want to check it out, well, you just give us a shout. We're recording now live till 5, and then we'll post it up on YouTube, so you can come by later and do a call letter search for KC9VKV. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're now featuring about 1,050 recorded QSO-VLOG air checks. Also this afternoon, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers monitoring Rochester, New York, Milford, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Georgia, and Arlington, Virginia, trying to get a better copy on our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6th position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio, and today our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of this selector is a co-phase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. We do use a lot of rotary selectors on our shack, mainly because there's nothing faster than a rotary switch for comparing multiple signals. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR to the FT990, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. Well, those are our working conditions. How about yours? This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. And now, let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, Jim, I sure do. KC9VKV. K1GZL, as Jim mentioned, near the Canadian border of Quebec, 4 air miles to my west and northwest, and we are in Clarksville, northern New Hampshire, where it's 46 degrees, mostly cloudy, and picked up yesterday on the 2nd of March, 4.2 inches, making 198 inches for the season. Propagation this morning on 40 meters was very good. I had just a few seconds of BK3MO down just northwest of Melbourne in southeastern Australia, and unfortunately I'm recording electronically, but due to some things that have broken down, I'm holding my microphone right up to the speaker of the recording, and let's see if I got it.
KN4, Germany, Bravo, Zulu. Victor Kilo, 3 Micros Kilo, so heavy rain here tonight. Yep, brush the teeth and jumping to bed, looking forward to it. 73, beach, the 3 Micros, Finny, Melbourne, now clear and showing QRT, I will be here tomorrow.
Okay, and that was 40 meters this morning. Tim, go ahead.
Roger. Well, you've got it down about every morning there. You've got a good solid contact. Do you ever have any fades on that situation?
You get a lot of short sporadically, instead of the signal going up 150, 175 miles above the Earth to the F layer, which is the best method of transmitting a signal at long distance, like from the States down into the South Pacific. If you get sporadic E there, that's about half the height of the F layer, about half the height and that does block a lot of the signal from getting up to the F layer, which is normally the layer that we use to go long distance. And this morning we did have some sporadic E, although Ian was still very strong. But you transmit a low-angle signal through that E layer, which may be 70, 80 miles above the Earth. You're transmitting quite a bit of energy through that at a low angle, and that is a block. The E layer does block a lot of the signal from getting to the F layer. However, if you're just a short distance, maybe 50 or 100 miles outside of that E layer, you might go directly to the F layer and do much better with 50 watts than somebody might do with a kilowatt that has to transmit through the E layer. K1GZL. Go ahead, Jim.
Roger, Charlie. Now, at one time I did hear, and we heard from your recording, an echo situation whereby you were getting some delayed reflection coming back at you, maybe a quarter of a second or thereabouts. Have you had any more of that phenomenon?
No, I haven't. It's amazing. I have not had that since then or before that. It was absolutely weird for that delay to be that long. Jim, the signal had to be going up at least 25,000 miles and coming back another 25,000 miles to Earth. It was absolutely astounding. And even Jim, who is very, very up on and used to propagation, WA3FET, he found it really remarkable that there was that much delay, and yet no one else in the group that evening heard that delay. It was just around here, as if it were beaming straight back down from up above. It was weird, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger. Now, have you considered that might be a backward pass coming in off the back, Roger?
Oh, no way. I don't see how that is possible. If that were the case, other people would have heard it. And we had a station about 350 miles away, did not hear it. One out in eastern Missouri, he did not hear it, and there were others that did not hear it. It wasn't any backlash, and a backlash would be much, much quicker to go around the world. It takes about an eighth of a second for the power to go around the world, and this took more than 2.5 times that for this return echo. It was quite a trip.
Oh, Roger that. Well, and again, you point out that it was you that mainly heard the echo, Roger.
The echo, Roger.
Well, actually, I was talking to my friend Art. It was 7 air miles away, and he heard it on me. The two of us heard the same thing, and he's 7 air miles away. It was weird to have to go a round trip of maybe 80,000 miles to go 7 miles away. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but it's not uncommon for neighbors 5 or 6 miles apart to have to get relays from, California, Roger.
California, Roger.
Well, it depends. It depends, but no one else heard this. No one else, and we had several people on frequency, and other people that were listening and told me at a later time that they did not hear this double echo, but it was very plain and evident. Somewhere around here, I still have that tape, and I marked it down. I'm holding on to that tape for posterity. Go ahead.
That's right, Roger. You need to archive all those phenomenon, Roger.
Yeah, I should have a better library system than I have at present. Oh boy, I'll tell you, ham radio is wonderful. By the way, on another subject, I hope everything is okay on this virus, this COVID-19. They ought to call it COVID if it's right in the worst of it, like down toward New York. COVID-19 E. E is an Edward for extreme. That way you would know that they're talking about one particular area that is really in the worst of it. And let's hope that this can be found for a darn quick cure of it. It sure is a horrible situation. Jim, go ahead.
Roger. Well, we've got to do our part to try to shelter in place and keep the peak of it down low enough to where our medical system can function, and so the more we shelter in place, we are trying to stretch our medical folks to be able to stay within their capabilities, and that's the whole thing about sheltering in place, is to try to reduce the peak or spread it out at least, so we don't overtax the total capabilities of a medical situation. Roger. Roger.
Oh yeah. I think we're a lot of us now are in place, and I think we do need more rapid testing, of course. So that's getting into a subject a little away from radio, but hope everything is okay. And anyone who might be listening to any of this, caution is a very, very important thing in whatever is, with this whole business going on. Well, okay, Jim, we'll catch you certainly. I'll try to get on next Friday night, next Friday evening. I hope your health holds up in good shape, and I certainly hope that some kind of a vaccine for a rapid improvement of the situation, to the point that if it tries to come back, say next winter, we'll be all ready to knock it in the bud. So, Jim, thank you very much for picking me up. I don't want to overdo everything on the timeline here. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, three's that way, sir. Thanks for your report, and always, shelter in place up there. And I hope you have plenty of whatever it needs to make that work, Roger.
It needs to make that work, Roger.
Okay, you also, Jim. You also. I certainly hope that everything will straighten out, and everybody will be back. Things will be trying to get back to normal. Although I realize that will probably take quite a while. Okay, 73, Jim. Thank you very much for picking me up, and good luck with the group here. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Always a pleasure.
Roger, Charlie, three's that way. Catch you next Friday, hopefully. This is KC9VKV and the Friday Afternoon QSO-VLOG Network. Just a reminder, my name is Jim, KC9VKV. I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so when you go to YouTube, you'll just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, and on that page, you'll be looking for one QSO-VLOG entitled My Group Aircheck 4320, today's date. My Group Aircheck 4320. This is KC9VKV listening.
The KC9VKV listening.
And station calling, come back again slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Kilo Bravo 3, Yankee Lima X-ray, QSO.
Kilo Bravo 3, Yankee Lima X-ray, is that a Roger? Okay, I've barely got a copy on you. Come back, if you will, and tell me just a little bit about your antenna situation. I can look around and see if I can get a better copy on one of my SDRs. Roger, I'm getting close to you. I went through my SDRs. I did not have a better copy in any of my SDRs. So you must be running, what, about 100 watts or so?
Yes, sir. I am running 100 watts out of a Yaesu FT8901, over.
891, is that a Roger?
Roger.
All righty. Sorry, frequency is in use, whoever's whistling there. This frequency is in use. And what's the name there, KB3YXL or YLX?
The name here is Lance. I spelled Lima Alpha November Charlie Echo, over.
Roger, Lance. And what's your location, please, sir?
CTH is Upper Marlboro, Maryland, about 8 miles outside of Washington, D.C.
Roger that. Well, gosh, me and my Elmer got together over the week, and he managed to give me a target to look at on my magnetic loop antennas to retrace my directionality. You know, when you get a very large, these are 10-foot vertical mag loops, and when you get a very large magnetic loop antenna, it no longer follows the normal course of directionality. So you really have to try to find out which end is up, so to speak. And luckily, you know, he gave me a 25-watt target for about 10 minutes, and I managed to go through 360 degrees twice and noted the high spots, and they were reoccurring high spots. So that was the loop antenna tracking, and so I noted that, and he is directly west of me, so I had to recalibrate my orientation as far as my directionality, but it is calibrated now, and I am picking you up fairly well. I've got you about 5 dB above my local noise level around Louisville, Kentucky. Roger?
Roger on the 5 kb. You are a true 5.9 here. The noise level is kind of high, but you are a true 5.9, over.
Roger on the 5.9. I wish I had a better report for you, but like I say, it looks, you know, I have to equate my signal reporting as pretty much close to an S-meter reading, because they do coincide a lot of the times. Although what I'm looking at is the output from a VU meter that's tied to the audio out of my receiver, and I do calibrate that for your voice level peaks. And then when you cease speaking, I'm looking at the noise floor, and right now it gives me a 5, so that would mean that your transmission coming into my location is 5 dB above my local noise level. Roger?
Roger on the 5 dB. I guess that's not too bad with my working conditions here with a whip, naturally about 10 meters behind my house. What was your TPH over? I believe it was Tennessee.
We are located in Indiana, just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. So just mark it down as we're next to Louisville. Roger?
Roger. I really appreciate the pickup. I was not sure if I was going to be able to actually make a QSO of anybody, but I heard your previous QSO. It was quite interesting about the propagation, over.
Roger. Well, today's not the best day, but it's you know, usually 40 comes and goes. It comes and goes better in the afternoon hours than it does in the morning hours. There, for a while, we were running this network, I think it was at 10:30 in the morning or so, and we did have problems with our 100-watt friends coming in, so we did move it to the afternoon, and I did notice about a 4 dB or between a 3 and 4 dB increase in signal strengths on our 100-watt friends in the afternoon versus the morning. Roger?
Good copy. This is Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee Lima X-ray. Definitely a good copy. Yes, I am sheltering in place. I usually run 100 watts with my G5 RV, but I decided to step outside and pull up the whip and see what happened and drink a Bud Light. Over.
Roger. So you do have options between one horizontal and the other. Is that a vertical whip?
Yes, it is a vertical whip. It's the Queen Empire. I like it a lot. I use it when I go hiking or something like that. But my main antenna is a G5RV up about 30 meters, excuse me, about 15 meters over.
Roger, Roger. Well, you did just improve there. Mother Nature gave you a break and got you a 7 dB over my noise level just then. Roger, Roger.
Roger on that. Again, much appreciated. This is Kilowatt Bravo 3 Yankee Lima X-Ray.
And you're about 4 dB hotter on my loop antenna versus my dipole antenna. So that's another thing to note. And again, we are recording this live till 5. So if you want to hear what your audio sounds like, if you go to YouTube later on and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page, we have right now about 1,050 recorded QSO-VLOGs, but you'll be looking for one in particular. It'd be called My Group Aircheck 4320. That's today's date. My Group Aircheck 4320. Roger?
Roger on the My Group Aircheck 4320. This is Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee Lima X-Ray. Coming it back to you for the final. Over.
Roger, Roger, Lance. Well, listen, I hope you have all that you need to withstand, sheltering in place there. And, it is important that we try, to do our part to try to keep the peak down so our medical folks can have enough equipment and personnel to weather the situation. Roger?
Roger, that is definitely the most important thing to do. I have been teleworking for 3 weeks now, and it is killing me, but it is important to shelter in place. Over.
Roger, Roger. Well, hopefully, things will turn around and we'll be able to all get back to work and do what we have to do, to get this country back together again. But the main thing is we've got to stay alive in order to do that. So, you know what the drill is, Roger.
Roger, this is Kilowatt Bravo 3. Thank you very much. Over.
Roger, Roger, Lance. 3's to you, sir. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for checking in. This is KC9VKV. This the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Oh, you want to check out? Give me a shout.
Copying somebody off the Arlington SDR. Come back, sir, and give me your call sign slowly, phonetically.
And give me your call sign slowly, phonetically.
I did not copy anything at all that time on the Arlington SDR. That station coming back, try again, please.
Yeah, that station coming back, try again, please.
Okay, I'm back on my local antenna. We're near Louisville, Kentucky. Try one more time. Okay, I got Kilo Echo something. Give me the whole thing slowly, phonetically, one more.
No problem.
All right, we'll come back to the call sign. What's the name?
Name is Fred, Fox Romeo, Echo Delta.
Got half of that. What's the first part?
Fred, Fox Romeo, Echo Delta. Fox Romeo, Echo Delta.
Roger, Fred. I got you that time. You're only about 3 dB above my noise level, but, hopefully we'll be able to make it work and get into some better receive situations. Roger?
Roger. You're 559 here in Philadelphia. 559 in Philadelphia. I have a very high noise level here, too. But very good going on.
Fred, I'm sorry it went the other way, man. You just went into my noise. So let me say 3's for now. Maybe if my signal comes up to you later on, give me another shout. Right now, though, you are faded into my noise level, so I'll say 3s for now, and we'll try it later. Roger, roger. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 3, Romeo, Charlie, Romeo.
Romeo, Charlie, Romeo. Give me the call sign phonetically again, please.
Oh, that would be K3RCR.
Well, it wasn't phonetic, but it was close enough. I got K3RCR, Roger.
Roger, roger. Kilo 3, Radio, Charlie, Radio.
Roger, roger. What's the name?
The handle here is Tom, Iron Old Man. That's the reality of the thing. I used to use that when I was a kid, but anymore it's for real. Over.
Roger that. And what radio are you running, sir?
Running a 10 Tech Orion here, and I've been off the air for a good many years, and I just like to, if you would give me a audio check there to see how the audio is, and a signal report as well.
All right, signal report your ADB over my local noise level, and audio-wise, we could do a little fattening if you would be interested.
Okay, is it too bassy or is it too sharp?
Well, it has to do with ballistics. It has to do with dynamic range. We can fatten it up. We suggest bringing your compressor in line at about a 3 to start. Engaging your compressor at about a 3 to start, Roger.
Okay, let me see here. There's a 1, let me see, 2, 3. How's that?
All right, things are coming up. Now, go to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC reading for mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter by way of using your mic gain control as you transmit and speak naturally, normally into the mic. Don't whistle or set level or anything. Just talk naturally and just turn the mic to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Alrighty. Let me see. I need to back it down. 1, 2, 3. How's that? Over.
Okay, looking good. Now, do you know where your EQ is?
No, I'm not familiar with that. Over.
All right, let me give you a note there. When you do find your equalization, you want to increase your top end, your treble, by 3 dB, by 3 clicks. I would go 3 clicks more on the top end of your EQ when you find it, Roger.
Okay, let me try this now. How's that? Is that any better right there?
Well, it's about the same. What'd you do?
Well, I'm using a W2AHY equalizer here as well as the rig here is kind of new to me here. Like I said, I haven't operated it for a good many years, so the audio at this point is better than what it was when I started though. Is that correct?
Well, what I suggest is that you run one or the other. I don't think 2 EQs are necessary. It just gets really interesting, too interesting when you have 2 EQs. I would turn the internal off if you wanted to use the external, Roger.
Okay, we can do that. The internal is off at this point. Let me make an adjustment here on the ALC. Alrighty. Okay, now we're running everything through the W2IHY.
All right. What's the top end? How many bands is that? 7?
Yeah. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. What's the top EQ set at?
I have the top on the 50. 50, 100, 200, 400, 800, 16, 24, and 3200. I have the 50 set at 16. I am.
Okay, that's not a parametric EQ, right? That's just a normal 8-band EQ?
That's correct.
Okay, you want to take that, first off, you want to get all of your mid-range stuff flat. You don't want to cut or boost your mid-range at all. So anything from 800 cycles to 1.5, anything, or say 500 cycles to 1.5K, just put those at 0 level, flat, neither cut nor boost. Roger?
Okay, hang on a second, I'm doing that right now. Put that on 0. Okay, everything's on 0 right now.
Not everything. I mean, just that from 500 cycles to 1.5 is what you want to be at 0, Roger.
Okay, got you. What time anybody about this?
Alrighty, got that?
Yes.
Talk to me just for a minute about your antenna system. Let me see where you are.
I'm using a G5, a modified G5 RV up about 30 feet.
Roger. Okay, you have a really bassy microphone for flat, although I'm not sure what your other EQs are. All right, what are your bottom end EQs? Anything boosting in the bottom end from what, 50 cycles on up to 500? If you have anything boosting in that area, put it to flat.
I have everything from 100 on over I have right now on flat.
Okay, so you're flat from the bottom end all the way up to 1.5K, Roger?
Yes.
All right, take 1.5K, move it forward 4 clicks.
Okay.
So you're boosting 1.5K 4 clicks. Positive, Roger?
Roger.
Still sound pretty bassy. All right, take, what's your bottom end control? What frequency is that?
Well, in G5 RV, I don't have any way to the levers on here to make the adjustment.
It sounds like you might be having some distortion, I don't know. But anything, take everything, take 250 cycles and below, just take that all the way out. Reduce that, delete, pot out everything below 250 cycles.
Okay. You want me to, I haven't set on 0 right at this point. Is that what you want?
Right, you have everything set on 0, so I want you to take everything below 250 cycles and below, just to turn them out, turn them down all the way. How we doing, Tom?
Just running a couple of different settings on the WTRH here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to sign off here, and I'm going to get out some papers on this previous settings, and then maybe I can check back later when I get this thing set up. I had like 2 or 3 different settings, so let me do that, and then we can go from there. I do appreciate you taking the time out there to work with me. Like I said,
Roger, what you need to do is go ahead and go back to your ALC and reset your level to mid-scale to 2/3, because we did quite a bit of manipulation in your EQ, and that does affect your ALC. So go back to your ALC and with mic gain in hand and adjust the ALC for mid-scale to 2/3 again, Roger.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a break here and go through some papers I have here from the WT RHY. I've had several different settings on them. I moved them all out. Let me do that, and maybe get back to you a little bit later and go from there.
Roger, Tom. Okay, just give me a shout if things improve. We need a better signal also. So I'll say 3 for now, and then we'll catch you later if conditions get better. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you want a radio that you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Bravo 3, Alpha Whiskey, Quebec.
Kilo, let me write this down. Kilo Bravo 3, Alpha Quebec. Is that a Roger?
Just the middle letter, Alpha Whiskey, Quebec.
I'm sorry, Kilo Bravo 3, and what's the rest?
America, or Alpha Whiskey, Quebec. Alpha Whiskey, Quebec.
I got you there, Alpha Whiskey, Quebec, and what's the name?
John, Juliet, Oscar, Hotel, November.
Roger, John. And what's your location, sir?
We're here in Eastern PA. I'm here in Williamsport, PA.
All right, and come back and tell me about your antenna system there, and let me look around, see if I can get a better signal, Roger.
Okay. Yeah, you're actually pretty strong here. The original version. And I'm using the antenna is actually a ground-mounted vertical. It's a Hustler 5B. And it's basically ground-mounted. And what else? Yeah, basically on this radio here, I've seen up to, and the boom mic is probably about 6 inches or so away from the mouth. And trying to think if there's anything else. That's it.
Roger, John. Well, I didn't find any better signal, and I only have you a 3 dB over my noise level. So what was that radio that you're running?
It's an Icon 706, the original version.
Alrighty. Gosh, we could help you set up there a little bit if you'd be interested in a little fatter signal.
Okay.
First thing is engage your compressor at about a 3. Engage your compressor at about a 3 level, Roger.
Okay, now I do have some question on it. How do you actually change the
If you would, just go ahead and set it at a 3, and we'll work it out from there. Let's see. The normal tune-up procedure. If less doesn't work exactly like we would want, and more, you start hearing it suck up. And the thing about setting up stuff is that you want to set them up with a little finesse that you don't really hear anything working. It just is a loud signal. So we would start with that compressor at a 3, Roger.
Okay, I have the gain at 3 there. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC, and with your mic gain in hand, adjust your ALC to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a 5. Okay, when I do 5, it's about a 6.
Yeah, you don't want to set a level that way. You don't want to whistle. You don't want to go, You just want to speak in your natural voice, just your normal voice at the average place where you work the microphone, and just adjust your mic level to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Roger, Roger. And now do you know where your equalization is?
Actually, that's about 6 right there. Well, no, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, it's about 2/3 right there.
Roger, John. Gosh, probably the best way to set your mic level is if you were telling me about something about the radio, the best thing about the radio that you like. And then as you're talking, just turn the mic to level gain to where you're reading mid-scale to 2/3. Sometimes if you speak differently, you wind up not at the correct level. So I just need for you to tell me about something, and as you're telling me about something, then just use your mic gain to adjust that LC meter to where it's mid-scale to 2/3. Roger.
Monday we're actually going to, go back for a couple days a week there, and just next month. the audio, people have always kind of had a little bit of punch to it, but other than that, though, yeah, it's, I don't know, basically just based on what I've been glancing down, trying not to look at here, it's been around 7 or 8 on the ALC, so I guess that's probably about 2/3 of it, right?
Roger, John. Now you can look at your ALC. I didn't mean that you couldn't. I mean, you can't adjust a meter without looking at it. I'm just saying that you when you're speaking, that you're speaking very naturally and normally when you adjust that level. You know, a lot of people get real close and it's hello, like that, a whistle or whatever, and that's not setting that meter the way it needs to be set. It needs to be set to control your average speaking voice in a normal situation. It needs to reflect that. So I think we got that. That was that was about a 5-minute dissertation. So I think you got that, Roger.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want my by looking at it, that could tend to maybe change the way that I talk or something too. So I didn't want to I've been just kind of glancing down at it as I'm talking normal, and like I said, it's been about 7 or 8 there. So. Yeah, it seems like maybe that's around 2/3, I would say. So this is how I would normally talk. And I'm able to look at it a little easier now. Actually, it's maxing out at the very high there was I think 8, but it's mostly staying right at 7. So I guess is that normal?
Okay, John, now I don't want you to look at it anymore. I want you to get off your ALC. Now, you've set that. What I want you to do now, do you have an external watt meter in line?
Yeah, just the one that's going into the radio guide.
All right. Well, I want you to look at that watt meter there, and the exercise is that you know where the sweet spot is on that meter. Well, what I want you to do is try to keep the needle up in that sweet spot when you're talking. You're looking at that meter, and you might have to increase your speech rate just a little bit, but the main thing is to keep your words, your words at the same level. So you're actually doing your own work on your trying to keep ballistically that meter at that sweet spot position, Roger, through tempo and the uniformity of each word.
Okay, so basically, you probably want to have the most output out of it as well, and it seems like it's pretty balanced, I would say. I mean, it's kind of like overdriving the power, but it's a match. I would say, I mean, if it were me, I would think that it's probably about maybe where it should be, based on an educated guess.
Hello, radio.
Frequencies in use, sir. That's a Roger, John, and that's an exercise, and the more you do that, the more the easier it is to keep that needle up in that sweet spot position. And it's all about trying to keep a good signal on the air, and again, part of that is to be sure and stay on axis to your microphone. Don't pull off to one side or the other side. Can be very consistent about the way you work your microphone and the volume of your voice and actually the rate of speech of your voice, and that is part of the exercise. And if you have a VU meter on that radio, you could use that as well as the watt meter, Roger.
I think over the last week or two of being off here, I have heard you on at least one other time for sure. And I just actually came up and got on here and heard you on, so I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a shot here, because, I don't know, I guess it's one of those things, you don't always, sometimes people, will tell you other things, and, what sounds good to one doesn't always sound good to someone else, and, obviously sometimes, just having audio, just by having somebody that is, more familiar with audio, it kind of helps out a lot. So, So I'm guessing probably the mic gain 3, and is where it's at here, and I guess maybe where the sweet spot is there. And I just write your call down actually. KB38OU2.
Roger, call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor KC9VKV. And looking at your audio on my view meter, I can see ballistically now that you have about a 3 dB dynamic range, which equates to an 80 to 85% of average peak modulation. So that's very good. And if I had just a little bit better signal on you, we might get into your EQ. But right now you're in the safe zone of the EQ. It's intelligible, very intelligible. Probably we could work on it a little bit if we had a little bit better signal. Roger.
I'm not real sure if I've ever seen that setting in here as far as EQ. I guess you know what it might be labeled as.
Equalization. It could be also termed equalization. Roger.
Obviously, if there was a 5, I was probably, well, when I first called for you, I was probably a 5, or I was a 5. So my guess is it's probably maybe over-deviating or something. So I guess this probably sounds better then. So that's good. Thanks again for all your help. KB38OU2.
Roger, Roger, John. 3's that way, sir. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday, and maybe we'll pick up on the EQ curve just a little bit. Like I say, right now you're totally intelligible, but we could probably work on that and make it just a little bit better. But I want to hear you a lot cleaner before we get into that. You're right now probably about 3 dB above my noise level. So let me say 3's for now, John, and we'll catch you, like I say, maybe next Friday if you get a chance. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, in the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Delta Bravo.
Delta Bravo on the Rochester SDR, sir. Come back with a call sign again, please.
Bravo on the Rochester SDR, sir. Come back with a call sign again, please.
Was there a Delta Bravo station out there?
Was there a Delta Bravo station out there?
I barely have a copy on you. I went to the Milford SDR. You might be slightly better that way. Come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign, please.
Come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign, please. Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Delta Bravo.
I got Kilo. Was it Kilo Oscar 4?
Was it Kilo Oscar 4? Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Delta Bravo.
Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Delta Bravo, Roger.
Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Delta Bravo, Roger. Roger.
All right, and what's the name there?
What's the name there? My name is Kelvin.
I'm sorry, one more time on the name.
I'm sorry, one more time on the name. Kilo Echo Lima
And I wish I had a better copy on you. You are. Let me give you an example here. This is a KW, and I'll drop down to 100 watts. This is 100 watts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 100 watts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back now to a KW, Roger.
2, 1. And we're back now Victor KW, roger.
So you can see I'm having just a little bit of difficulty trying to pull you out, Roger.
Hey, I'm having just a little bit of difficulty trying to pull you out, Roger.
Anyway, Charlie Delta Bravo, I believe that Mother Nature has pulled the plug on us. I think Mother Nature has pulled the plug. If you got a copy, try coming back one more time.
Got a copy, try coming back one more time.
Yeah, I'm not copying anything, Charlie Delta Bravo, so 3's to you, sir. If my signal comes up to you, try it again. Right now, you are under my noise. You are under my noise right now. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor and the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 0 Charlie Echo Whiskey.
Station ending in whiskey. Try again, please.
Whiskey 2 Charlie Alpha Whiskey.
Okay, Whiskey 2 Charlie blank whiskey. What's that letter between the C and the W?
Alpha America.
W2 CAW, is that correct?
That is correct.
Roger, Roger. What's the name there, sir?
Albert.
And what's your location, sir?
I'm in South Carolina, about halfway between Columbia and Charleston.
All right, stay right there. I've been working on my mag loop directionality, and so I consider you would probably be about 90 degrees from Louisville, Kentucky. Is that a Roger?
That's probably a little bit more than that. Probably 100 to 110.
Okay, I came up to 107. And tell me about your antenna system for just about 10 seconds or so.
Well, right now I'm on a 40 meter off-center fed dipole at about 35, 40 feet.
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running, sir?
7300.
Ah, yes, yes. Well, what's the best thing that you like about the 7300?
Well, there's nothing to dislike. I like the whole radio. I mean, it's great.
Roger, Roger. Okay, I've looked at your audio, and we could fatten it up just a little bit if you'd be interested. It starts with the compressor coming online at about a 3. It's just a very token amount, but it does precisely what it needs to do as far as the beginning of our procedure. Roger.
Compressor's on at a 5 setting.
Okay, you want to put it on a 3? Just it's a token amount, but it does what it needs to do without sucking up. Anything past 3, you can hear it suck up.
All right, it's on 3. How's that?
Yes, sir. Now go to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3.
All right, let me get the scope up on that.
Actually, you can do that just on your ALC meter reading. That's where you should do that.
All right, I'm on that. Okay, I've got to turn a compressor down.
Now, listen to me. Leave your compressor at a 3. Leave your compressor at a 3. Turn your mic gain down to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3.
All right, I'm doing that right now as we speak. I am down to right now I'm at about I'm at
5%. Review. We want the compressor on at about a 3. Compressor on at about a 3. Then we move to the ALC, and we're looking at the ALC meter, moving left to right there. And with your mic gain, you want to adjust where the ALC is reading from mid-scale to 2/3. The actual sweet spot is that space between mid-scale and 2/3. Roger?
on the mic gain.
Compressors at 3. So right about there is about 2/3, half to 2/3.
Yes, sir. Okay, that's looking good. Now, are you using the stock hand mic?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now what you need to do when you're working that stock hand mic is pull it to the side of your lips and talk across it. Do not talk straight into it, just talk across it. Roger?
Yeah, gotcha. That's what I've been doing. How's that?
Roger, I did hear quite a bit of mouth noise there a little while ago, but it's important that you address that microphone that way, or get a windscreen if you, well, I don't know if you're going to be able to get a windscreen anytime soon, what with us sheltering in place and all, but ideally that mic, you could use a little foam windscreen, just slip over that mic, and then take your little piece of masking tape, and so you can denote which end is up, so you're not talking into the back of the mic, because that windscreen will almost cover the whole thing. But the idea is that is an electret condenser microphone, and you can't talk directly into it because your transients would just be tremendously over accentuated. So one way around that is to work pull it to your lips and work across it until you can get a windscreen to, and then once you get a windscreen, you can talk to it however you want. Roger.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm not breathing into it or anything. I'm talking across it, as you can probably tell. That should be clear. And, the ALC's looking good. Everything's looking good. So what do you say?
Sounded pretty good. Do you know where your equalization is?
I'd have. Boy, I got to look for it. I don't know.
Okay, let me give you a note there that when you find your EQ, I want you on the bass frequency, I want you to roll one click off. I want you to roll one click off on the bass frequency and 2 clicks up on the high frequency, on the treble. 2 clicks boost on the treble, 1 click minus on the bass. Roger?
Yeah, I got you. I can do that. That's in the set menu.
Roger. So I'll let you do that at your leisure. That should be easy enough, and I think you will be absolutely perfect after that, Roger.
Okay. Let's see. I can check it. You said one less or one more? One less.
Roll 1 click off the bottom, 2 clicks boost on the treble. Roger?
Roger that. The bass is adjusted. That's roughly. 2 clicks up on that. It's up on the way.
All right. Are you doing that now?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Gosh, come back and talk to me there for about 10 seconds so I can hear your... well, I'll tell you what. Now that we've made certain changes to the equalization, I would suggest going back to your ALC meter and double-checking to be sure that you're still mid-scale to 2/3. And if you would need to adjust it, use your mic gain to adjust that ALC meter to mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger that. It's pretty close to the same thing. It may be just a hair lower, but not much. Yeah, just a little bit lower. Let me bring it up a couple. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sort of back to where it was before.
Roger. So you're back to mid-scale to 2/3 there? All right, let me give you an exercise to work on there. This all has to do with getting the best foot forward in your audio, and that is the way you work the microphone. You always try to stay on axis to your microphone. In that case, with your hand mic, on axis is where you're talking across it. So that is the best position for that microphone as you work across it. And then if you have your VU meter or your power output meter, meter. Be looking at that, and then as you speak and you transmit, and as you're talking, what you want to do is try to keep that meter, the needle of that meter, up into the sweet spot as much as you can. And this has to do with the tempo of your speech, and it also has to do with the consistency of the peaks of your words. So you want to try to modulate each word pretty much close as you can to the level of the next word. So you actually are doing your own human compression, if you will, of your audio signal. So the combination of your rate of speech and the level of your words, the peak of your words, will give you a very fat signal. Roger?
Roger, I understand. It looks almost, it's kind of steady. I need to work on it.
Roger. Well, I've had 50 years and I'm still working on it. So, but hour by hour as you do it, you'll be amazed at just how consistent you can become at that, Roger.
Roger, thank you. Appreciate it.
Roger. So let me say threes to you, sir. Thanks for checking in. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday between 3:30 and 5. Roger?
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. You have a real great afternoon and a perfect weekend coming up. Threes to you, sir. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We are recording now live till 5. And like I said, that recording will go to YouTube. And so later on, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We're now featuring about 1,050 some odd recorded QSO-VLOGs. And you'll be looking for one in specific about today's recording. It will be called My Group Aircheck 4320. My Group Aircheck 4320, today's date. This is a KC9VKV listening. I think there was a K04 or a K04.
K04 Charlie Delta Bravo.
Okay, copy K04 Charlie Delta Bravo, correct?
Roger, this is Kelvin.
What was the name again, please?
Kelvin, as in the temperature scale.
Roger, Kelvin, and whereabouts are you, sir?
Just west of Atlanta, Georgia.
Copy, Georgia there. And what's your antenna system?
What's your
All right. Well, gosh, what was that? Give me that radio one more time.
The radio's FTDX 1200.
Was that FTDX 1200, Roger?
Roger.
All right. We can make you a little bit louder if you would be interested.
Absolutely.
All right. Maybe you don't. If you engage your compressor, turn your compressor on into a 3.
It is already on 30 out of 100.
Excellent. Now, go to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC to where you're reading a mid-scale to 2/3 as you speak naturally and normally into your microphone. Kelvin, I didn't copy you that last. Come back.
My ALC is set to half to 2/3 already.
All right. And you have your compressor at a 3, Roger?
I do.
Okay. Then I would go to my EQ. Do you know where your EQ is? I'm only copying you about 4 dB above my noise level, so do you know where your EQ is?
Yes, I do.
All right, go to your EQ, and let's pump in a little more top end for articulation. If you could go to +2 on the top end now, and we'll see what it sounds like.
All right, that's +2 right there.
All right, now you need to talk to me for about 10 seconds about something about the thing you like best about your radio.
Well, actually, the best thing right now I've come to figure out, or just getting into, is WSTR.
Gosh, I don't know. Did you still copy me okay?
I do, but I have something going on with my radio.
Roger, roger. Is it still going on? Are you okay?
Not sure what I have going on. Some kind of weird going, but it has.
Yeah, John or Kelvin, I'm not copying you too well, Roger.
Roger, I'm going to take a standby have going on.
Roger, roger. Okay, if my signal comes up to you, come on back and we'll try it again. Right now, you're really towards my noise level, so I'll say 3s, and we'll catch you in a little bit. This is Kilo Charlie 9. Victor Kilo Victor in the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
W1 Bravo Foxtrot November.
Station ending in November. Come back with your call sign phonetically again, please.
Whiskey 1 Bravo Foxtrot November.
Whiskey 1 Bravo Foxtrot November, Roger.
Running at 7,300, believe it or not.
Alrighty. Gosh, whereabouts you're located, sir?
We're located in the middle of North Carolina.
All right, let me pull my loop around to the middle of North Carolina. I'm going to go for about 70 degrees, I guess. That should be pretty close there. All right, and you're running a 7300. Is that a Roger?
That's Roger.
All right, and tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds.
Okay, the antenna system is an urban beam, which on 40 meters is used as a rotatable dipole, and I've got it set up inverse of 70 for you, and I hope it's loud enough. We're running about perhaps 1,000 watts to 1306.
Roger, roger. Now, and what kind of mic are you running there, sir?
This is this standard hand mic.
Okay, what you want to do is when you operate that hand mic, do not work directly into it. Pull it to the side of your mouth and talk across it. Pull it to the side of your mouth and then just talk across it, Roger?
Roger, doing just that right now.
Yes, that's about the only way that you can really work that microphone, because it is an electret microphone, and that's the simplest way to do it. If you were to go down to your music store and get a foam windscreen, you could slip that over the mic, and that would solve the problem also. Then you could talk any way you want to it. But right now, without that windscreen, what you want to do is pull it to your lips and speak across it, which you're doing. All right, now the next step is to inline your compressor. Turn your compressor on and adjust it to a 3. Engage your compressor at a 3. Roger?
Roger. Let's see. Compressor on and adjusted to a 3.
Okay, now you want to look at your ALC meter with your mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC to where your mic gain, you're seeing a mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter. Roger?
Roger. Now let's see. Mic gain is right there. And looking at the ALC, to 2/3. Actually, the ALC looks like it's coming up to about half scale. It's reading up to S9 at this point.
Roger, Roger. Well, that's where you want, mid-scale to 2/3. You don't want up in the red, that's too far, but you do want from mid-scale to 2/3 as you speak naturally. Roger?
Okay, well, let me see what happens if I go up to 2/3. No, not very much. So I'll take it back down again.
Now you want to be at 2/3. You want to be between mid-scale and 2/3. That's your ideal place.
Really, mid-scale is now the ALC. I've got to turn to just set it up for ALC. It goes up to about. Oh, I see. The scale for the ALC. Whoops, sorry. The scale for the ALC is. All right, that means I should turn this down a little bit. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mid-scale to 2/3. Now that ALC meter movement or that indication does not run all the way down as the other ones do. You know, it only runs, I think, about halfway. So when you set that level, you're looking at the display for the ALC only, and you want to run that mic level mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC reading portion. Roger?
Roger, Roger. I'll bring it back down so that okay, I'll bring it back down and then see if I have this is not hello. If it seems that no matter how far I turn the mic gain down, the ALC is wanting to read about the same.
Can you copy me?
Yes, I can copy you. You're F7, F8.
Okay, you're off frequency. You must have hit your VFO. Bring your frequency back to 7188.
Yep, I did it. I'm my bad.
That's all right. Now, again, let's you've got this ALC reading. All right, so you just all right. I tell you what. Let's simplify it. Put your mic gain on 50.
Okay, I've got the mic gain here. Oh, I just went 10 off. And mic gain on 50.
Mic gain is on 50 now?
Okay, mic gain is on 50, sir.
All right, I think we're done on this part of it. Let's move on to. Do you know where your equalization is?
No.
All right, let me give you a note then. When you find equalization, you want to go +2 treble boost. +2 treble boost when you find your equalization. Roger?
All right, Roger. I'll do that. And I have the manual out, and I've been looking for it ever since the first time you mentioned that it adds it.
Yes, Roger. Now, and the thing is, what you might want to do is make yourself a cheat sheet to where you don't have to go back to the book, and you want to, and you can take notes of this. You want to find out where your equalization is, and you want to find out. You want to be on the widest possible bandpass. So you want to run that radio 100 to 2900. You don't want any of those other readings. You want to run that radio 100 to 2900, and it asks you 3 times what you want to do. You know, it allegedly has 100 to 2900, and then it has two other choices. Well, you set all of those choices to 100 to 2900, so you can't possibly operate that radio in any other mode but 100 to 2900. Roger?
Roger, that sounds good to me. It does bother me just a tad, because I talk a little bit of DX sometimes, and I really like to run them 200 to 2750.
Yes, sir, but you're only fooling yourself, because what's happening is what you want to be is to be understood. You want your maximum amount of articulation, and that only occurs when your radio is running at that 2900 mark. When you start those lesser band passes, you start rolling off the top end, audio-wise, and when you do that, you're losing your articulation, and that's the only thing that he's going to hear down the road to say, hey, that's you. And if you're muddy coming into him and you got 6 people on top of you, you don't have a chance in the world. So you want to be as articulated audio-wise as you can be, and that can only happen when you're in the 100 to 2900 bandpass.
Okay. Mind if I call you Professor from now on?
Anything but late to lunch.
Okay. Thanks very much for the help, and my name is Mike, and I'm most grateful. This is W1BFN, your big friendly neighbor from Asheboro, North Carolina.
Roger, Mike. Well, happy hunting there. You're sounding really good, and that, like I say, that's the thing. A lot of people don't quite understand what happens when they start restricting their bandpass. The thing is, you can always, in your maximum bandpass, you can always roll off those lower frequencies if they start to be a problem, through EQ. But once you start chopping off the top end by way of lesser bandpass, you can't retrieve that articulation through EQ, because your radio's set up to disregard that, and it's only going to pass that the lower bandpass. So just stay 100 to 2900. That's the way to run that radio.
Okay, bandpass 100 to 2900, and you said keep it up +2 on the treble.
Yes, sir. When you find it there, and I can't believe somebody just settled in 1 KC off my frequency. We've only been here for an hour and 20 minutes, and so they figure that they can come in 1 KC off to the side. Well, we got them.
Oh my! Well, I can't hear him, and I guess that's a good thing. Thank you, and then 7-3, and I will not forget.
Roger, Mike. Just remember to when you run your microphone up to the side of your lips and talk across it there. That's the best way that you can get the maximum out of your radio there. Sounding good. 3s to you, sir. And we have been recording this, so if you might want to check out what your radio sounds like and our whole setup procedure, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We're running about 1,050 recorded QSO-VLOGs at the moment. You'll be looking for one in particular called My Group Aircheck 4320, today's date. My Group Aircheck 4320, and give us a couple of days to get it uploaded.
Okay, thank you so much. And again, 7-3, thanks so much for the help.
Roger, Mike. And gosh, we have a thing here, Adventures in Radioland, and this is in regards to directional dipole antennas, and I'll try to get everything feathered out here so we can actually read it in somewhat Understandable style. Adventures in Radioland, this segment, directional dipole antennas. When we began building our station, KC9VKV, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami. That was a way of defining our desired coverage area. Another way to have said it would have been to cover the east coast of the United States. Our station's geographic location is along the Ohio River, just across from Louisville, Kentucky. So we are centrally located within the United States. So when it came time to actually lay out the orientation of our dipole antenna, I had a very definite idea about its radiation pattern. And in that regards, I believe that maximum radiation occurs broadside to the radiating elements of a dipole antenna. That is to say, if your dipole is oriented east and west, your maximum signal strengths will be north and south. Now, I know we have all seen the picture of a wire dipole antenna in electronic books with the associated theoretical radiation lobe pattern showing basically two large lobes moving away and expanding at a right angle broadside to the wire element. But what happens to the radiation lobe if we decide to slightly bend one half of this dipole radiating surface to a slightly different angle other than a perfectly inline dipole? Well, theoretically, each side of a balanced dipole has an intrinsic electrical waveform radiating around the wire. And if we would happen to reorient one half of the dipole to a different angle, this should result in a radiation pattern skew. In laying out my dipole antenna, I specifically ran one leg of the dipole absolutely east and west to ensure a heavy radiation pattern north and south. And then on the other half of the dipole, I ran it northwest and southeast to help reinforce the in null lobe directly east of the north-south main lobe. The end result was a heavy signal up and down the east coast with a hotspot through the Carolinas. The magic height was 30 feet. Now, I know there are those that say at 600 miles distance, it doesn't matter which way the dipole was oriented, but I beg to differ. And I think my signal strength over the ADI bears out the fact that it does. My next project will be experimenting with two additional test dipoles, one oriented true east and west, the other oriented true north and south, with an AB relay switch at the top feed points. I foresee a large variance of signal strengths switching from one dipole to the other following the north-south, east-west broadside relationship. And FYI, I won't be changing my main perfect 40-meter dipole. Well, there you go. My thoughts on directionality of dipole antennas. Definitely, I believe it does make a difference which way the dipoles are oriented. And so if you, have in mind a specific area that you want to be sure and cover, then I would orient my dipole broadside to the target. And so, for what it's worth, and then toss it up in the air and see if anybody's listening. Anyway, this is KC9VKV. You've got about 8 minutes till 5, at which time we turn into a pumpkin. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Charlie 3, Oscar Lima.
Oscar Lima, come back with a whole call sign, please.
It's Kilo Charlie 3, Oscar Lima.
Kilo Charlie 3, Oscar Lima, was that Roger?
Roger.
And what's the name there, please?
My name is Don, Delta Oscar November.
I'm sorry, repeat the name again?
It's Don. The phonetics are Delta Oscar November.
Oh, so you're saying Don. I thought you were saying Bob. Don, Roger?
Roger. We talked several days ago.
Roger, Don. And what's your location, please, sir?
My location is Baltimore, Maryland.
Roger. And what radio are you running, sir?
I, too, am running an ICOM 7300.
All right, sir. And if you would tell me about 10 seconds of what your antenna system is.
I have right now a my half-wave end-fed antenna that covers from 10 to 80 meters, and it seems to have been working pretty good. It's currently not polarized in the optimum direction for the East Coast, but I think it should be pretty good for you in Indiana.
Looks good. I've got about a 10 over on you, sir. Sounds good. And on your audio, gosh, we could do a little fattening if you'd be interested.
I'm very interested. I've been listening to several of the last people that you've worked with, and I have no idea how other people hear me.
Roger. Well, we are recording now till 5, so you'll be able to go to YouTube later on and check that out. I'll tell you how to do that later. Right now, I suggest that you engage your compressor at about a 3. Turn your compressor on, adjust to a 3.
My compressor currently is set to 3.
Roger, roger. Now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC reading for mid-scale to 2/3 as you speak naturally into your microphone and transmit.
Again?
Key your mic and tell me about something for 10 seconds or so, and as you're talking, adjust your mic level to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
So right now, I do have my microphone level set at 100%, and when I look at my meter, I see that my ALC is running to not quite half of the red line. Actually, I have a red line, so maybe the red line is, we don't want to go over that red line. So I'd say that I'm currently at 100% running between 1/2 and 2/3 of the red line.
Which mic are you using, sir?
I have on Pro 7 with the microphone for the ICOM.
Roger. Now, it doesn't have any amplification in it, Roger?
I don't believe so.
Okay, and that sounds like it might be a little high for the mic, but although your level looks about right, so let's just say you are absolutely looking at your ALC reading. That's it only runs about halfway across your display. Roger, roger?
Roger, roger. So my ALC is higher, because I've learned that today. My ALC is actually higher than I thought.
Roger, roger. So you want to set that, you can look at it and see where the mid-scale position is. So you want to set it to pass that to where it's from mid-scale to 2/3, with that sweet spot being halfway between mid-scale and 2/3. Roger?
Roger, roger. I actually just reduced my mic gain to 90%, and maybe it looks like now that I'm looking at the meter that I could go to 80%.
Roger, we'll go on. Normally, like if you were using the hand mic, you would barely be running about 50%, 60%, something like that. But you're using a desk mic and you're working further away than what you would with that hand mic. So it's hard to say. But I would say, try it at about 70%, and I'll look at your modulation and tell you what's going on. Roger?
Roger, roger. Now I have it set to 70%. And just a review is earlier, based on something I read on the internet, I set the bass in my equalizer to +3, so that probably is affecting some of the sound that I have here. And right now it looks like setting the microphone gain to 70% looks great on my ALC meter.
Roger, I would not set that bass level up that hot on the mic. I would go past. I would not go past +2. What you want, what you're looking for is intelligibility. You want folks to be able to understand what you're saying, and that does not necessarily mean a broad frequency range all the way from the top to the bottom. First off, it's very difficult to get a true balanced signal if you're, have 100 cycle content and 2.9K content. It's very hard to get that, and there are a lot of things that can happen that could take that perfect EQ and reduce it to not good, because you have a thing called high frequency cancellation, phase cancellation, when all of our transmissions go from here to there by way of the skywave bounce, and not all the time is that skywave bounce at a specific place. Sometimes it occurs at two places at once. One may be further further out a little bit than the other one, and so, but they both bend back. But the problem is when they bend back, they could be slightly one different from the other, since their spatial point of reference is different from one to the other, and so when they both come back, one could be 180 degrees out of phase with the other, and what's going to happen is that one is going to cancel the other if the two levels are somewhat similar. And the problem is that they start from the high frequencies and work down in that cancellation. So here you have this perfectly balanced audio signal, and all of a sudden you lose the whole top end because Mother Nature decided to, cancel that out. So it's a good idea, and I found, not to be fully have the bottom end to zero level. I roll that off a little bit on the bottom end, but I try to keep as much on the top end content as I can, that it can withstand a phase reversal or cancellation at the phase cancellation. So what I'm saying is that I would pull back a little bit on that bottom EQ to maybe actually +1, maybe at max, +1 on the bottom end, and then come on up maybe +2 on the top end. That will give you should give you a very articulated audio signal. The other thing is, and you could take notes, that you always want to run your radio at the widest bandpass possible. You don't want to be running in any of those compromised band passes, because you just wipe out the top articulation when you run them at less than a broadband. Now I'm talking about basically 100 to 2900. That is, the curve that I'm looking at, the pass band.
Roger. So I'm going to embarrass myself here a little bit, and it was actually the bass I had set to 0. It was actually the treble I had to set +3. So I'm probably in the department where I need to be. And I can see when I look at my audio settings here that I have a setting for TBW. It's wide. I don't know if that's set or not set. I just see it there as a choice, but I understand what you're saying. We don't want to reduce our frequency range. I think that's what you're saying, Roger.
Roger. Now, what radio are you running?
It's the ICOM 7300.
Yes, sir. Well, on the ICOM 7300, you have, and you take notes, on the ICOM 7300, you have 3 choices for bandpass. What you want to do is run 100 to 2900. Crank that in, all 3 of those choices. All 3 of those choices, crank the bandpass in as 100 to 2900, so you cannot operate that radio in any other mode but 100 to 2900. Roger?
Roger. I'm doing it now.
And that will, that will let you be operating that radio at its maximum capabilities, and that's exactly what that radio was designed for. It has excellent circuitry all the way through it to really shine at maximum bandpass.
So I don't know if I just made any changes to my audio or not, but now all 3 of those are set to from 100 to 2900 as suggested.
Yes, sir. I think you sound fine there. And there's one other thing that you could do if you would be interested, and that is as you transmit along day in and day out, if you would be looking at your, say, power output meter or your VU meter, if you have one of those, I'm not sure, but anything that references your audio, I would be looking at that. And the thing is, what we want to do is keep that meter up in the sweet spot position. And that can be accomplished by 2 ways. One is the tempo of your speech. You don't want to get crazy and talk real fast like that, but you do want to have a certain, consistent speed. And also, what you want to do is try to keep a consistency of the audio level, the peaks of your words. And between those 2 items, you can keep that meter reading at that sweet spot position. Roger?
Roger. I understand what you said, and I can hear in your voice when you've been talking today what you're talking about. I think my inclination is probably to vary a little bit more in my speech. So I do want to say thank you for what you're doing, Jim. It's very helpful.
Roger, sir. Well, we try to do what we can do, and gosh, I think that my personal thought is that HF radio can be so much more than what a lot of folks might think it could be because of all the restrictions that we're technically put under to operate in the HF frequencies. So we do have our work cut out for us, as we might compare ourselves to VHF or UHF communications. They're running wideband radios, and they're running today's technologies. Their microphones are in many cases electret microphones with very good frequency response. So what we're doing is this is an older spectrum of radio communications, but we can make it sound a lot better, if we just apply ourselves in certain areas as far as trying to bring our intelligibility level up, even though we're going thousands of miles and, we're facing Mother Nature trying to bend our waveforms this way and that way. We just have to try to do the best we can and utilize every piece of our equipment to its maximum capabilities. Roger,
Jim. I think that it's delightful. The conversation that I'm having with you now is an easy conversation, and you sound great, and I'm not having to deal with a lot of noise. It's great knowing that I've had somebody listen to my audio and be able to make a critique of it. I don't know if you ever, one of the things that I struggle with is often the communications on the HF radio aren't as easy as this one is that I'm having with you today, and there's a lot of noise to deal with coming from the atmosphere or QRM, and I'm kind of at a loss to making adjustments to help make that the best I can using features like my notch filter and my noise blanker. So I don't know if you ever doing that about that, but if you did, I would be interested.
All right, my Elmer did procure me a 7300 to use for about 3 months. So I had an ample opportunity to run that 7300 through its paces there, and most of my time with that 7300 was engaged in the receiver part of it. I think I only ran one day in the transmit part because I already know that. I mean, we've probably tuned up 250 some odd 7300s over the past years, and so I know the transmitter in and out pretty much. So I was really interested in the receive capabilities, and it was in most cases an AV between my Yaesu FT990, which is about 35 years old, and the 7300. So my 990 has been modified to extend its frequency range both in transmit and receive. But come receive between the 7300 and the 990, the 7300 had a much greater frequency range, particularly down in the bottom end. Now my 990 has been modified to extend its receive audio capabilities on down towards 100 cycles or so, but the 7300 just stock is just beautiful down to, and we're talking about running in the wide mode, 100 to 2900. We're talking about running in the filter 1. Filter 1 on the 7300 is like no filter. Then you must watch out for your noise blank. You don't want to run that because that will introduce distortion into your audio. So only as a last measure should you run your noise blank because it will has the possibility of distorting the audio, receive audio. The noise control is I never ran that. I made sure not to run that because I wanted to try to faithfully reproduce exactly what was going on. Of course, you could run it probably pretty much any way you want to run it. I did notice in the noise reduction area that it did put an echo, kind of like a reverb signal in over the voice. Now it was very light. It was down -10 or so, but I could hear a reverb on the voice that was an artifact of the noise reduction. So I just, and I wanted to try to be as accurate as I could as far as recording, so I did not use the noise reduction. But what I'm saying about that 7300, it has a very tremendous bottom-end response. I mean, just amazing. And so to the point that if you really want to do yourself a favor, get yourself get your audio out of that box and get yourself a speaker monitoring system. I suggest you go down to your friendly Walmart and get yourself a $35 LabTech monitor system that is a 2.1, which gives you 2 side speakers and a subwoofer. Now, it's important that the subwoofer allows you to start experiencing frequencies below 100 cycles, down around 60 cycles, and there's hardly, for that price, $35, you can't hardly beat it. So I would, do that, 2.1 LabTech, I believe that's what it is, and that will get you what you need to do now. You need to calibrate that subwoofer because it does have a control on it. So what you do is you just play a little bit of good music through it, and then just bring that subwoofer control up to where that bass line is in respect to the balance of the piece of music. And once you do that, then you can plug that into your 7300 and just be amazed at a lot of the tonalities that you can experience. Roger?
Roger. That sounds like a good suggestion. So this isn't to disagree with your suggestion. The choice that I've made is to use the headphones. It seems like I can pick up fainter sounds really well when I'm using the headphones. It may not give me the same beautiful audio that you would get from some nice sub-bass speakers. But it has helped me pick up really weaker signals from other people. And so far I've liked having the microphone where I have a limited desk space, and it's helped me to just have the microphone in the same place all the time. So hopefully that's, also a good choice to make. It works for me from a practical point of view at least. So this is OOL.
Roger. Now, were you saying that you were using a boom mic on your headset?
Roger. It's a mic that's actually attached to the headset and it's not perfectly in front of my mouth, but just a little bit off to the side.
Roger. Well, the thing is, though, you got to take into consideration that if you're monitoring yourself in your headset, you might have a tendency to have it distract from actually what you're saying. I mean, sometimes you can get lost. I'm just saying, sometimes you can get lost in your earphones, particularly when you're monitoring yourself. That it begins to guide the way you sound, or the way you think you sound, or your speech. But on the long run, it is what it is, and however you want to run it, you should. Another thing about the boom mic, you're not running the boom mic now, is that Roger?
No, I guess if you consider the microphone that's attached to the headphone, a boom mic, I'm not really sure what I should consider that. I just think of it as a mic that's attached to my headset. So that's currently what I'm using. It's not a boom mic that's attached to my desk and it's just articulated from my desk.
Oh, Roger. Well, it's so whatever you think. I think that the main thing, and you can cover the frequency range in a nice pair of Sony earphones or something. You can cover the audio frequency range that I'm talking about with the extended low frequencies down there. If you're capable of reproducing 70 cycles or so, because the radio is going to reproduce 100 cycles for sure if that's in the transmission signal signal that it's receiving. In other words, the 7300 has a very broad band, particularly when you're running it in the maximum capabilities of low-frequency response. Roger?
Roger. You know, Jim, I've just noticed that it's now 5:14, and I did hear you say earlier that you turned into a pumpkin at 5, so I'm just going to make sure that you don't turn into a pumpkin.
Oh, Roger, I've already been into a pumpkin. I'm looking over the the round part of the pumpkin now. Yeah, I got to go, but I have enjoyed it. I hope you have too. And if you get a chance, you go to YouTube and check out your audio. You do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We're running about 1,050 recorded QSO-VLOGs at the moment. You'll be looking for one in specific, and that would be one entitled My Group Aircheck 4320. My Group Aircheck 4320. Today's date. Roger?
Roger. So, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. This is Kilo Charlie 3, Oscar Lima, saying 73, and thank you very much for the help.
Roger, Don. 3's that way, sir. You have a real good afternoon, a great weekend coming up. And gosh, at 15 past 5, we will cut out of here and we'll turn this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor clear.